really don't be giving out 5 stars like that. This is BookTube's baby, all right? I live for the drama, all right, and the corruption. F in fantasy stands for fun confusion, because you just supposed to just ride it out until you just get that click. I'm gonna need the fantasy authors to with me, like with me, please, and just all come to an agreement, whether it's indie, whether it's traditionally published. Please provide a glossary. They were just straight up like tongue out, rolling over on the ground. I have something to tell y'all. Okay, so an interesting change of event. What's up? Oh Lord, I look crazy. It's no fixing it. It's really just no fixing it. Like, this is after the end of the day. So, what's up, y'all? What's up, what's up, what's up? Hello, 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 booktubing world. It is I, Capri Nicole, and I am back with another video. So today we're going to be doing another reading until I find a 5-star book series. Last time I did this, I will link the video up here so you guys can check it out. Last time I did this, it went really well, so I'm going to continue the TBR I had for that vlog, because I asked you guys if you wanted me to vlog the book that I'm going to be reading for the book club that I have over on Fable called Our Island. And this is a book that y'all have been asking me to read for quite some time. It's a book I've been really excited about. It's a book that was my first gifted book from one of my subscribers when I had opened like a wish list. So it just holds a special place in my heart. And regardless of what the outcome is, it's still very near and dear to me. And the author actually reached out to me and was asking me if I wanted a copy of the second book, and I was like, how many signs do you need to start this damn book, girl? Like come on. So I ended up doing a poll over on Fable to ask you guys like what you wanted to read this month for the book club. If you don't follow the book club, please follow the book club. Y'all can read along. And you guys chose this book, which is We Are the Origin. Now, if you're OGs, you know I've been talking about this damn book forever. I've been raving about this book, wanting to read this book, and I just haven't had time to pick it up, or just I haven't been in the mood to read it. But I am in a fantasy mood as of late, so I definitely am ready to start this. And all the signs point to yes. Like literally every corner I turn, someone's telling me to read this, or I'm seeing someone that has similar taste to me loving this. The author reached out to me, you guys asked me to read it, so it's like it's about time. Lashes is looking real finicky right now. I literally have a lash appointment in like 30 minutes, so do not fear. But yeah, you guys have been asking me to read this, so I'm really excited to read this. If you don't know what this is about, it's basically following this girl. I think it's where it's like she serves like nobles, like a noble group of queens, and she's basically like their assassin, but then she like comes into contact with like the spiritual world, or like the goddesses and gods of that world, and they basically tell her like, do you want to keep serving this queendom, or do you want to come work with us? And she ends up working with the goddesses or spirits or whatever. I can't remember what it was. And then the queendom don't like that, because they like, hey, you're our assassin, like you're supposed to be saying on our side, okay? So now they're basically coming after her. So I think it's gonna be fun. The cover is gorgeous. I love the dedication that is, what is it again? It's like, for the black girls that aren't nice, for the black girls who aren't all that nice, this one's for you. I love that. I love dedications. Do you guys read dedications? Am I the only one? But dedications are definitely one of my favorite things. I always have them on my TikTok. So that is the first book on this TBR. The second book is another book that you guys have been asking me to read, and that I've been hearing a lot of. It's kind of popular right now on BookTube, and it is Half a Soul. So I don't know the full synopsis of it, but all I know is it is told that it has Bridgerton and fairy vibes. So I'm into it. Like, I'm trying to see what that's about. I love fantasy. I love the show Bridgerton, and anything like fantastical, magical, you know, I think I'm gonna really enjoy this. So this is another 5-star prediction, so we'll see how this one goes. And the final one on this TBR is a BookTube baby, okay? This is BookTube's baby, all right? Everybody has loved this damn book. Everybody has been raving about this book. Everybody says the second book is even better. and I just kept saying I was gonna read it, never got it. Then I finally ended up getting a copy of it, and so I'm just like, it's time. Like, it's time to pick this up. And it is Amari and the Night Brothers. Like, this, honestly, I think I'm gonna be one of the last people to read this book because everybody has read this. This cover is so gorgeous. I just love, she looks like my niece. I just love seeing black girls on covers with her kinky coily hair and just so cute. Like, everyone says the magical system in this is cool, the characters are cool, the world is amazing. So I'm ready to dive into this. From what I understand, I think this follows Amari, and her brother has gone missing, but then she finds out that her brother isn't missing. He might just be in another world. So she's going to that other world, finding out about that, and catching her footing there. So that's what this is about, if you didn't know. And it is a middle grade, so I'm excited for that. But these are the 3 books on our TBR, and hopefully one of them will be a 5-star book. I don't know, but we will find out together. Let me know in the comment section below which one you think I'm going to give 5 stars. Honestly, I think the 5-star is going to be between We Are the Origin and Amari and the Night Brothers. Like, I feel like Amari and the Night Brothers is like, everybody loves it. But, you know, sometimes how it's on the peak of a 5, but it just doesn't quite make it. It's like a 4 or 4.5. So, you know, I could really enjoy them, but they not be 5 stars. You know what I'm saying? So I guess we're going to see together. We're going to find out, child. But these are the books on the TBR. Let me know if you've read any of these and which one you think I'm going to give 5 stars. So, yeah. Let's kick this video off. I will see y'all in the next clip. Bye. What's up, y'all? Update. It's time for an update. You know what I'm saying? So, what is Pebs doing? She basically has moved all her stuff into specific areas and is like obstacle coursing through it. I don't, maybe she's bored. I don't know why, but okay. Anyway, okay, so I'm currently on chapter, I think I'm on chapter 7, honestly. I've been listening to this on audiobook. I read this much. I'm currently on page 112, chapter 7. Okay. So, there's a lot going on right now. So, let me see what my notes are, child. There's a lot going on. So, basically, this book is following the main character. Her name is Brandy. And I think what she is called a shadow, which are basically like the queen's or royalty's assassins, and she's not the only one. There's other people within, like, I don't know if it's an academy or just like a platoon or whatever, like it's like a military whatever. There's other shadows, and basically the gods have requested that. What is she doing? There's something wrong with my child. Like, what is wrong with her? She distracted me. Anyway, so basically she's a shadow that is like the assassin for queens and for royalty. And basically in this world, I think there's 4 different gods, and it's been hinted at that there might be a 5th one that is like the ruler of all of those 4 gods. Each god sometimes bestows their blessing onto specific people, so they like resemble the god, or they have like some type of quality that references to the god, like blue eyes, blonde hair, their skin tone, their eye color, like whatever. Like, it's some type of reference to having a blessing from one of the gods. And the god that bestowed a blessing to Brandy, her name is Freya, and she doesn't bestow blessings that leave specific qualities. She basically is like reincarnated into them, so she shares a part of them. Like, I don't know if she shares their soul or if she is that person, but like when she bestowed her blessing to Brandy, she basically is like reincarnated in her in a way. It's really cool. There's a lot going on. So basically, honestly, when you read fantasy, F in fantasy stands for fun confusion, because you just supposed to just ride it out until you just get that click. Like, all my fantasy girlies and boys and theys and thems know that when you read a fantasy, you kind of just have to ride it out. You got to ride it out until you get comfortable with all the characters, the world, and then it's just smooth sailing from there, especially when it's like high fantasy. But this one, I'm understanding the basis of it. I understand the world. I understand that there's specific districts within this world that is solely focused on specific gods. So there's like a land for Asari, there's a land for Freya, there's a land for this, like there's specific lands for each god. So what I'm gathering is that there's 4 gods. The 4 gods that I've caught on to is Asari, the god of moon. There's Roth, who I think is the god of sun. Not sure. There's Freya, she's the goddess of life. There's Karna, and then there's like the hidden god, who's basically like in charge of all of them. So the gods are very prevalent in this world and take up a very good chunk of like the history, how the people move, what they do, stuff like that. But basically Brandy, I don't think I've gotten to the plot yet, because I know that the main plot is going to be that Freya, who is the god that she has embodied, is going to request that she uses her services for good and for protection. I haven't gotten to that yet, but I do know that's a part of the plot. As of right now, I'm following Brandy. She just going to different parts of the land and basically executing the queen's requests. That's what I'm gathering. Like, she basically slaughtering folks like no man left behind. Like, she's slaughtering people, she's killing them down. Like, she's not playing no games. And we're basically just getting introduced to a whole bunch of characters. There are a lot of time jumps, which I had to get used to, because there's current time. Anytime a character is introduced, sometimes there will be a time jump to when she met that character, and then there will also be time jumps to, yeah, it's just, those are basically the only time jumps. Whenever she meets a character, sometimes it'll jump back to when they originally met each other, and then also like current day. So there's a few of those time jumps, you know, you gotta catch a footing with that. But child, I ain't gonna lie, I'm fighting for my life with these characters. Like, I'm only on chapter 7. We talking about like we 100 pages in. When I tell you there has been so many characters introduced, like, and I'm trying to remember them, and then like as soon as I try to remember them, sometimes they just get killed, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, damn, okay. But okay, we've been introduced to Brandy, who is the main character. Sarah, who is, I think she's gonna also be important. She's basically a character. So Sarah basically was contacted by Asari, who is the god of the moon, and he is in love with Freya, child. Like, they got long lost history. So he basically is using her as his little disciple to, you know, keep an eye on Brandy and stay in contact with her, because, you know, Brandy is embodying Freya. So he's trying to get close with his girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, he like, hey, you know, keep an eye on her. So Sarah has basically made a deal with Asari to pay attention to Brandy, keep an eye on Brandy, and they have a deal where like if she does all this stuff for him, then he won't kill her family, basically, child. But that's important. And then we have Jack, who is Brandy's, I guess, like partner. I guess they're like in a relationship, so that's her partner. They're both shadows. Then there's Noble, and there's another one, Noble and something. I think they're like twins or something. They ride together. I think Noble and the other one, I don't know if they twins or whatever. I think that they are like Brandy's mentors, like they trained her. And we've also been introduced to these characters, child. Okay, Pine, Saya, is it Saya? Pine, Saya, Vanna, Najee, Kyle, Queen Leia, and Bert. Okay, I had to write them down because I'm like, okay, all these people, okay, I can remember all of their characteristics, I can remember who they are, but baby, these are a lot of characters. Okay, for the first 100 pages, I'm like, okay, I'm fighting for my life. Like, I'm trying to remember like what the story is, get comfortable with Brandy, and also get comfortable with like the political background of these gods, because they're very prevalent in this story. Like, they are a good chunk of the story. So I'm just trying to remember who the gods are, all the characters that are being introduced, and I feel very comfortable. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really feel confused, but I'm still trying to catch my footing with the story. But it is flowing well. I'm just trying to remember everyone and remember what the hell is going on. So I don't need time for any confusion. As of right now, I'm good. Okay, as of right now, I'm okay. However, I'm gonna need the fantasy authors to with me, like with me, please, and just all come to an agreement, whether it's indie, whether it's traditionally published. Please provide a glossary, because a lot of this that I'm writing down right here with all my sticky notes and all this shit, this could be in the back of the book. this could be in the back of the book and I wouldn't even have to do all of this. Do I mind doing this? No. But what I'm saying is, if we had a glossary, I would be good, child. And I wish the glossaries also included some characters, because sometimes characters' names just be mentioned and then they just never get mentioned again. But I just need fantasy authors to with me. Like, please give us glossaries, because like right now I need a glossary for a background of the characters, the gods. Like, now I know who the shadows are. I want to know what the powers are, the centers. I don't even know what that is. Listen, glossary, please, because some of this stuff is being introduced and explained and some of this is not, and that's where I be fighting for my life with fantasy. The fantasy authors that be having the glossaries in the back, I love you. I love you forever. Yeah, I need them glossaries, and I need fantasy authors to start adding like characters in the glossary as well, because they just be introducing people and then I don't be remembering who the hell that person was unless they just stay in the story for a good amount of time. As of right now, Brandy is the main character, Sarah is a big chunk of it, and we're riding with Brandy and Sarah right now, and they're just doing their thing. And I think eventually her, you know, the plot's gonna start where she's gonna be asked by the gods to use her abilities or use the blessings that she has for the greater good and no longer be a shadow. So that's where I'm at right now. I haven't really got too deep into it, but as you can see, I was loving it in the beginning. I'm still loving it, honestly, because I have so... Hebs! Do you hear her over there splashing like that? So, I don't understand. Anyway, I was really enjoying it as soon as it started. Like within the first like 50 pages, when I tell you I was can y'all see that? I was highlighting, dog earring, like this is crazy. Let me see how many dog ears I have. I got almost 10 dog ears within the first like 50 pages. Just saying, like, I'm enjoying it, and I'm really just trying to catch my footing and really pay attention to everything that's going on, because you know you can't blink too long when it comes to fantasy books, baby, because you will be lost, okay? But as of right now, I am enjoying it. I just wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on, who the characters are, who the gods are, and all the nitty gritty, okay? As of right now, we're good, thank God. I like the main character. I just like her sass. Like, she really just don't be taking nobody. Like, and even when I think she's not gonna kill somebody, she still kills them every time. And you know what? I respect that. I respect that. I honestly do respect that. Right now, we're on chapter 7. I'm gonna read some more of that tomorrow. If you would like to pick this book up, please do, and support the black authors, okay? And the book is also on Scribd on audiobook if you prefer to listen to it on that, and the audiobook is pretty good. So that's all I gotta say. When I read some more of it and I have more to update y'all on, I will talk to y'all then, okay? Bye. See you in the next clip.
You three guys?
Yeah, so?
Ought to learn some manners.
I do trust him and have great faith in his powers and abilities. But I have no respect for him! Huh? I don't like you turning your back on your opponent.
You're the one who keeps distracting me here!
What the hell is that? Okay. About to power up on them boys. Okay. If y'all see my lace lifting, no you don't. Because I already told y'all, I cannot be bothered with glue, baby. I'm a gym girl. The glue just sweat out immediately, okay? So we just gotta do glueless, and if the lace lift a little bit in the corner, it is what it be, okay? It is would it be? All right, so I'm here for a update. Time for update, you know what I'm saying, girl. All right, so I'm currently on page 170, which means I'm almost halfway through this book, and I know I have a schedule on Fable that I'm supposed to be following and finishing this in a month, but baby, we might have to speed it up because I keep stopping to follow the schedule, and I'm just enjoying this so much. Especially once I got to page, what page was it? I'm trying to think of what page it was where everything like clicked. Around page like 120 to 140, everything started to click. Like, you know how in the last clip I was telling you guys, like in fantasy books you gotta wait for that click. It's really just confusion and fun up until everything just clicks. You're good with the character, you're good with the plot, and it's just smooth sailing from there. That's just what you have to deal with when you read fantasy. This is no different. I was waiting for the click. I was enjoying the process, you know, getting a background, a few time jumps, a little backflash here or there, whatever, introducing new characters, whatevs. And around the 120 to 140 mark, things started to click. The plot was brought to the forefront and we got to understand more. Okay, so basically the player of all players, her name is Freya, and she is the goddess of like reincarnation. And what is she? She like the goddess of something. Child, hold on. So Freya is like the player of all players. Like this god, she has like 4 lovers and all of them are obsessed with her. But one day they was all kicking it, her and all her, you know, all her lovers, they, you know, they was hanging out, chilling, whatever. And this dude showed up and his name was Zariel. Okay, this is like way back in the day before like the start of mankind and all this stuff. This was when everyone's life was eternal. The gods ruled everything. Zariel shows up. He is a being of time, so he's basically a part of a group of people who are in control of time and on different universes and different planets, whatever, blah blah blah. So he show up over there with Freya and all her lovers, and he basically says like, I need your help. My apprentice, someone that I trained, who's also a being of time, has become really obsessive with the idea of being a god, because from my understanding, the beings of time aren't the ones that aren't actually gods. And the dude that he trained, he basically got really obsessive with the idea of being a god. So he just won't just be a being of time. He can't just be normal and just leave it at that. He got to be all corrupt and be extra or whatever. So Zariel knows that this is going to happen. He kind of stopped it before, but he knows like later on down the line his apprentice is going to really mess stuff up. So he comes to Freya and asks her and her lovers, who are also all gods, to prepare the human race for his apprentice to come later on. So basically in the future, like 300 years from then, his apprentice is gonna show up and try to just like destroy the world. He's asking Freya and he's asking the other gods to send blessings to human of their choice, send them blessings in order to prepare just in case his apprentice shows up and start trying to shut shit down. Okay, so that is the plot of this basically. Okay, Zariel shows up, tries to prepare them. He talks to Freya. Freya says okay. She agrees to it, but because she is a goddess of like life and stuff like that, reincarnation, whatever, her blessing is actually her sharing a soul with another human. So she's sharing a soul with Brandy, who is our main character, and she's basically, you know, given her small powers or whatever that she can share with her. And the other gods each pick like a human vessel, so they all pick like human vessels and give them small pieces of them, like give them small powers, characteristics, you know, their eyes, their hair color, whatever, and they also have like a very specific trait. Okay, all in preparation for this being of time who's gonna show up and try to destroy human race. All right, so that is the plot of this book. Since Brandy was born, she basically was the assassin for the queendom. So she basically has been like the one that, she's like the hitman. She's like the hitman for royalty, for the queendom. Okay, but she's also, you know, sharing a soul with a god. So it gets to a point where Freya's like, hey, I need you to end your relationship with the queens and come over here, and I need you to prepare, because the being of time that Zarya warned them about, he on his way, okay? So I need you to just wrap it up with the queens over there, and I need you to come over here to prepare for this big war that's gonna happen. So, you know, she's doing that, and she's rolling with this other girl. Her name is Sarah, and she has blessings from, I think I already told you guys, but she has blessings from Roth. I think his name is Roth, what the hell's his name? Child, hold on. Child, I forgot his man name. But anyway, Sarah has blessings from Roth. I think his name is Roth or something like that, who is the god of like the moon, and she has the ability to heal. So basically she rolling with Sarah, but Sarah is also a princess. So it's just good. Like, it's just so many different things happening. I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the chapters where we get to have a backflash of like the gods, because I love gods in books. And while I was reading this, one of the notes that I wrote was saying that I wish there was like a spin-off book where it was just 100% about the gods, like how they met, how she bagged all these dudes, because she has like 4 lovers and they all just be vibing together. So I want to see how they met, how they fell in love, like just corrupt things that they've done, because the actions of gods and questionable in books, which is why I live, laugh, love for it. Okay, I live for the drama, all right, and the corruption. Yeah, I live for it. So I would love to see like a prequel or a spin-off book of that, but we do get small bites of that in this book, because there are backflashes where it shows the gods together, and there are times where Brandy visits Freya and they have a conversation, and she tells her a little bit about like the background of the gods and what the hell's going on. So that's where I'm at with that. Oh, I said I wanted to show you guys my bookmark. I think the bookmark that, this isn't even a bookmark, child, this is a business card from one of my favorite artists. She draws prints, and I have a lot of her prints, but her name is Serendipity. Yeah, Serendipity on Instagram. If you, oh, can y'all see? Oh my god, stop trying to focus on my face. There. Okay, can y'all see? There we go. Serendipity on Instagram. I have this as my bookmark, and I just think it just fits the vibe like so well. It just goes together really well. I don't want to say it's an issue, but I do wish that we got to see Jack and Brandy fall in love, because Jack and Brandy are both shadows. They work together, but they're partners. So they're together, but we didn't get to see that process. And it's kind of like a lot of like, I don't want to say it's a lot of telling, because there are moments of showing, but there is a lot of telling, but it's not boring. Like, you know how people complain and they say like, oh, there's a lot of telling and not showing or whatever in the books, but the way that that things are being told in this book doesn't make it a problem. So I can't really say it's a complaint, because like any other time, if I read a book and they telling me everything that happened, I'm just like, okay, like y'all could have just gave us a scene. Y'all could have just gave us a scene and wrapped it up in a page. But like the way things are being explained, the conversations and the things that are happening, I don't have a problem with it. But there is a lot of telling in this book. And there's a lot of characters. Like I told y'all, there's a lot of characters in this damn book. I had to pull out my notes, child, because it was a lot of characters. But for the most part, I'm really enjoying it. And like listen, if y'all can see these dog ears, baby, these dog ears, it's like 50 of them. I'm gonna see if I can show y'all. Can y'all see that? Y'all see them dog ears? Like, and that's just the top. Like, we're not even talking about what's happening down here. So as you can see, I'm clearly enjoying it, and I think I'm just gonna speed through it. I'm really trying to follow the schedule or whatever, but once I found that audiobook on Scribd, it was wraps. It was basically wraps from there. I've just been listening to it at work and highlighting and dog earing as I've been reading and writing my notes so that I can update y'all. But I might be finishing that real soon, okay? Way before I'm supposed to. But I don't think Roth is the god of the moon. I can't remember. So many damn characters in this. I think that's it. That's all I have to update you guys on. I'm gonna read some more of this. Child, the next clip might be me finishing this book, because I'm flying through it, and we will see if it ends up being a 5-star. But so far, so great. And the audiobook is actually pretty good. So some of the guy characters' voices, it just be given like a girl trying to pretend to have like a deep voice, like, who do you think you're talking to, like that. But like the audio effects for like when there's gods talking is really cool, and it's really not bad. I give it like a 7 out of 10, the audiobook. So I am enjoying the audiobook. I'm gonna continue to read it like that. and I'll update y'all in the next clip. Okay, bye. Okay, I have something to tell y'all. Okay, so an interesting change of events. So I was supposed to start Half a Soul today, but because I was working, I started this book that's been on my TBR called The Marvelers. You've probably seen it in a couple of my recommendation videos. I know y'all probably like, girl, why are you recommending books that you ain't read yet? My answer to that question is, mind your damn business. I'm still gonna recommend it, and with good reason, because my recommendation was correct. It is like a more colorful and diverse and fun version of Miss JK's books, okay, the Potter series. I started this audiobook just, you know, because it was something on script. I'm like, okay, let me just get this out the way. Y'all, it's feeling like a 5-star to me. I'm getting the 5-star tingles, and like, usually when I read like a book physically, I get the 5-star tingles and I just like get really excited. But like with audiobooks, I start getting really excited listening to it, and I'm just like completely tuned in. Like I'm listening to every microscopic detail, and that's how I know this book is about to be 5 stars. Like depending on how the ending goes, depending on whatever happens next, whatever. But as of right now, I only have like 3 hours left in the audiobook, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. I just realized that the characters' names in this book are based off of authors of color, because I heard Jason Reynolds, I heard Angie Thomas, I heard Tochi Onyebuchi, because like they were mentioned in passing as characters, but when they had detention together, they said their last names, and I'm like, she named these characters after Black and people of color authors. Like, how dope is that? And there's also like braiding, magical braiding hair, magical braiding hands. Like she's getting her hair braided by magical hands. Like she had her mom's hands basically copied, and her mom is braiding her hair, but it's like magically. Her mom isn't really there. How iconic. Like how iconic is that? Magical braiding hands. Magical braiding hands. This is a 5-star. Do you hear me? Like, and I'm just wondering, like, I know it was on my TBR, but it wasn't on my TBR for this video, but I am reading it during this video, and this video is supposed to stop when I find a 5-star book. I really don't be finding 5-star books like this, so it's something about this series that just be pushing me towards the 5-star books, because I really don't be giving out 5 stars like that. I really don't be giving out 5 stars like that, but every time I do this series, I find a 5-star book, and this book was not on my TBR, but I am thoroughly enjoying it. Like the plot, the characters, it's fun. Basically, it's following the main character. Her name is Ella, and her family is a family of conjurers. She's from New Orleans, and they're seen as like the hoodoo voodoo type people, you know what I'm saying? They have magical abilities, but they have like old school magical abilities that is very foreign to marvelers. So there's the conjurers and there's the marvelers. So the conjurers are people that, you know, they don't have a very specific type of like magical ability. They just have like spells that, you know, they're more like the witches of the magical universe. And usually there's like this really big school that all the marvelers go to in order to find out what their specific magical ability is going to be. But the conjurers were never accepted into that school, and she's the first student that was requested to come to that school as a conjurer. So, you know, she's making history. She's showing up there with good intentions. She's like, I'm gonna make a lot of friends, I'm gonna work really hard with my magical abilities. She know her stuff, and her family's really powerful, so she just like, she's not like one of those main characters that have to make it out the mud. Like, she know what she's doing, she know her magical abilities. It's just different from the other marvelers. So she shows up there, and everybody trying to be mean to her, child. Everybody trying to bully her just because she's a conjurer, and they see her magic as like dark magic, just because it's foreign to them. They're not used to seeing these types of things, and they're not willing to accept it. And she's the first person that has been accepted into the school of marvelers. So but she's also has the ability to show the magic that she knows, you know what I'm saying? They don't like that, they don't like change. But the thing that I like about Ella is she's with the shit. She's like, y'all not about to bully me. Like, any person that disrespects her or her family or conjurers in general, she's just like, what's up? Like what's up? You know what I'm saying? She is not with the, she's like, y'all not about to bully me. I know my stuff. Like, I'm working hard just like the rest of you. You guys have to give me a chance. Like, she stands up for herself, and I like that. I really like Ella. I like the other main characters. There is so much magic dripping from this book, like, and it just is full of culture. There is so diverse, and there's different houses, there's just different magical abilities, there's different like pastimes, history, like spells. It's just so interesting, and I'm just loving it so much. The audiobook is well done, the characters are fun to follow along, and like the book, you just vividly see it. If you're one of those readers that vividly see things when you read it, this is the book for you. Like, all the little creatures, all of the little spells, all the color, all of the culture, all of the outfits, all of the over-the-top magical, this book is eating down. Okay, it's simply eating down. It's easy to read. I think it's a middle grade, but I'm really enjoying it. The middle grades have really been doing it for me. Like, Onyeka is another middle grade that I read that I really enjoyed. So it's just like, it's giving 5-star. I'm not sure yet, but I'm just here to say that before I start Half a Soul, I'm gonna have to finish The Marvelers tomorrow to determine if this is my 5-star book, because I'm supposed to stop the video when I find a 5-star book. Although it's not on my TBR, this is still a book that I'm reading during this video. So if it turns into a 5-star, we're gonna have to cut it short, child. I know we had 2 of the books on TBR, whatever. If it turns to a 5-star, the video over with, okay? And y'all know I like to talk, so the video already probably long as hell anyway. But I just want to update you guys. I'm gonna finish it tomorrow. We'll see if it ends up being a 4-star or a 5-star. But as of right now, I'm just loving so much the diversity, the culture. There's so much integration of like food and spices, and just I just love it. I'm foaming at the mouth with the cultural awareness. Like, I'm just loving it. I wish all books were like this. It's just so fun to just see a piece of you in a book, and I just know so many people can pick this book up and just see a piece of them in the book and also have a really good time, because there's so much magic. And I'm really enjoying it. I finish it tomorrow, so I'll let you guys know if it ends up being a 5-star. But I just had to come out here and update y'all, child, because it's looking like a 5. I don't know, it's looking like a 5, but if it ends up being a 4-star, then we'll move on to Half a Soul, and then we'll move on to Amari and the Night Brothers. But that's the update. I will see y'all in the next clip, cham. Bye. What's up, y'all? I finished the book. So I low-key want to count how many tabs I have on this book, because it's actually ridiculous. I don't think I've ever tabbed a book this much. But there was so much information and so much interesting like scenes. I'm gonna count for you guys. 33 tabs, and that's not including what I highlighted. So it's safe to say that I really enjoyed this. However, it is not a 5-star. It was pretty damn close, but I'm gonna start off by saying what I'm rating it, because I have some fire to bring to this book. I'm not gonna drag it because I did really enjoy it. I'm not gonna drag it because I didn't dislike the book, but I am gonna talk about some of the things I didn't like, and then I'm gonna end with the things that I did enjoy. So overall, I'm gonna give this a 4-star rating. I think that while it's fresh on my brain, I really want to type out my review. Even if I don't post it yet, I just want to have it typed, because I don't want to spoil it. I don't know when this vlog is gonna go up or when I'm gonna find a 5-star book, but I do want to spend some time tomorrow to write my review for this and save it for when I'm ready to post it. I really want more people to know about this book. I can't believe it only has 77 ratings on Goodreads. What's that about? Like, what is that about? It's time for me to start ranting and raving about this book, because it is so well written. It's very unique. It has a beautiful cover. Like, it just needs more love. Like, what the hell is going on there? What is going on there? What's that about? But I definitely want to contribute to the ratings for this book, because it was a really great book. okay? 4-star. So we are still on our 5-star hunt, y'all. It's okay, I did enjoy this. I'm glad that it went well, but it is not a 5-star. But I'm so glad I finally read this. Shout out to Nessa. Is it Nessa that bought me this book? Nessa bought me this book. This was the first book one of my subscribers got me, so this is actually very near and dear to my heart. So I'm really glad that I ended up enjoying this, because y'all have been screaming at me to read this book, and I saw Jessie on YouTube reading this book, and they really enjoyed it. So and we have similar taste, so I really wanted to pick this up. I'm glad I finally did. I'm glad I get to keep it on my shelves and have good memories with it, because there's nothing worse than having an anticipated book that you with a beautiful cover and you don't like it. Okay, I'm talking to you, blow like magic. But okay, let's move on. I have my little notebook here. I'm gonna start off with the things I didn't like or issues I had with this book, and then we're gonna close it out with the good. Okay, so you know, don't take offense if this is one of your faves. You know, don't take offense to it, because I'm giving it 4 stars, and I'm gonna write a really good review for this book because I did enjoy it. And I mean, look at this cover, bro. Like, this needs more recognition. This is a phenomenal book. I just hope it's an underdog that gets more recognition or blows up on TikTok or something, because it's a great book. Like, it really is a great book. Okay, the first 2 things that I have are basically, I wish we got to see these 2 things. One of them being, I wish we got to see more of the queendom. The queendom is mentioned a lot in this book. It's kind of like a divide between like the gods, what the gods want and what the queendom wants. There's a really big divide there, and the gods are very prevalent in this book. You get to see them, you get to hear from them, you know their backgrounds, their history. They show up, like there's visions of them. People are blessed with their powers. Like, the gods are very prevalent in this book. However, the queendom is not really prevalent in this book. They're kind of just mentioned in passing, and I really wish we got to see more of them, or got to see, you know, the characters from the queendom, because they kind of were just like talked about, like, oh, okay, well, I'm the queendom's shadow, like I'm their assassin, I get done, blah blah blah, whatever. But it's like we never really got to see the queendom. They were just mentioned. We didn't get to actually see those characters. It was mainly focused on Brandy and the gods and all of her crew. Okay, I also wish we got to see Brandy become an assassin, because we kind of just like started the book and Brandy was just like this bad assassin that knew how to kill everybody, and it was just like, girl, when did you learn that? I'm used to like fighting scenes, fighting sequences, like I'm used to my characters building that development, and it's like we didn't get to see that. So I'm like, how you this bad assassin? I ain't get to see none of your training. I ain't get to see you come make it from the mud, you know what I'm saying? It just kind of was like talked about. So I do wish we got to see that. And I honestly think these few things that I wanted to see more of could be solved with like a prequel book. Like, if we got to see a prequel book, if there was like a prequel book, I feel like this would fix like 90% of my issues with this book, because this book, the pacing is done really well, and the length of the book is done really well. So I feel like if all these things were added in, the book would be like 800 pages. So if we had a novella before this book that allowed us to see like the development of who Brandy is, her background, her family background, if we got to see the uprising of the queendom, if we got to see where the gods started, like how they fell in love, all this stuff, like we could literally have a novella that starts with like the gods, how she met each and every one of her Freya, who is the goddess, how she met all of her lovers, and then we could just, you know, their love story. Then we can move on to the next one, the next story, which would be like the development of the queendom and the shadows, and then we would be able to see, you know, a little bit of Brandy's life and how she became the assassin that she is today. So I feel like just another book or like a prequel book to this would be a solution to most of these issues I have with this book. Okay, next thing, these characters was dying like cartoon characters. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, they was just straight up like tongue out, rolling over on the ground. Like, she was just straight up sending them to the gods, but it is what happened so damn quick. And I'm used to fantasy books where it's like bloody, gory, they chasing people down, there's like whole fighting scenes, and it's like, I get it, every fantasy book does not need to have that. Like, nobody needs really detailed fighting scenes, nobody asked for that. But these characters were literally dying like cartoon characters. Like, they were straight up getting shot and it was like over with, and then people just like moving on. Like, huh? People just getting killed and then we just carrying on. Like, I know she don't give a damn, but damn, like, we didn't get to see no emotion from the loved one that was there. It just was like, okay. Another thing is, I'm unsure of the time period. Like, I don't know if this, maybe it's because maybe it was like urban fantasy, because I know urban fantasy mixes in like current technology, current clothing, current trends or whatever into like a fantasy world. So maybe it was like urban fantasy, but I don't remember the time period being tacked down. Or maybe I don't remember. I just know that there was like, this is happening like 300 years after the start of the world, like 300 years after the world started. But we got girls up in here in sweatpants and crop tops, engineers. What's going on? Like, I was trying to figure out what time period we in, like what's happening here, what's going on with that. Like that was just like, where are we, what's happening? But I was listening to an audiobook, so maybe I missed it, I don't know. But the crop top sweatpants thing threw me completely off. Like, the technology being mentioned, I was like, what's going on right now? Who, huh? And the last thing is, the villain's name was Bert. The villain's name was Bert. Can't no grown man named Bert tell me to do anything. Like, you not taking over the world. You not scaring me with no name. Bert. You want me to be scared and shaking in my boots by a man named Bert? He wouldn't be able to scare me, tell me, do me, nothing. I would simply hear that man's name and just laugh. Like, there is no way. There is no way a man named Bert is gonna be shivering my timbers. Like, are you kidding me? Like, absolutely not. No, hell no. No, you not scaring nobody, Bert. You better get some kind of nickname or something, because you not scaring me, the baddest assassin in the world, with a name, with a name. Your name is Bert. You not scaring I. Like, that. That blew me. But I also wish we got to see his motives, because he kind of was like, him and the being of time, the being of time, yeah, him and the beings of time were kind of just like mentioned in passing. But I wish we got to see like the development of their aggravation and their motives, and like, you know, because it kind of was like this build up to Brandy fighting off this possible villain, and like, you know, getting all of the gods' vessels and coming together and beating down the bad guy. That basically was like the whole vibe of the book. But like, we weren't able to see like the bad guys' scenes. Like, we weren't able to see like their motivations, them getting ready, them preparing, doing whatever. It kind of just was like they were mentioned, and that was it. So that's the last thing. Let's talk about some final things that I really enjoyed, because I think I talked a lot about things I enjoyed in the last clip. So we're gonna close out the last things I enjoyed. Like I said, I like that this book was not 800 pages. This book was the perfect length. It wasn't 500 pages, 600 pages, 800, 700, 800. Listen, quick, clear, to the point. Like, the pacing was good. Like, the font was not microscopic. It was literally 420 pages, like 425 pages, something like that. Some of these books be way longer than they need to be, and I really appreciate that this book was not one of those. Next thing I really thought was unique, I haven't seen this before. She has QR codes in her book. So every few chapters, well, like in the beginning it says like, oh, scan this QR code to see the map, and she has like a colored map on her website, which I really thought was unique. I like seeing maps in books, but sometimes I don't be knowing what they're there for. But her map was so well explained. Like, it was separated by like the districts of the gods, like their specific lands, and it was in order based off of who fell in love with Freya first, which I thought was so cool. Like, just the entire like keynote or the entire legend that was explained, the notes and everything. There was no way you could be confused looking at that map, and this was like the first time I knew exactly what was going on, where they were at, what was happening, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed seeing the little QR code. I thought that was a cute little touch. and the map was easy to understand what was going on. I do want to say I really enjoyed the diversity in this book. I feel like everybody had a unique or different look. Everybody had a very unique or different skill, came from different places, like had different attitudes and vibes, and I just really enjoyed it. I loved it, like, and I just can't get over this damn cover. But I really just enjoyed the characters in this book, although there were a lot of them and I was fighting for my life to remember all of their names. I really enjoyed all of the characters in this book, and I just thought that it just was nice. Like, it just was nice to see all the black girls, all the black boys, you know, fighting crime and hand in hand with the gods and their blessings and learning their powers and their lineage and stuff. I really just enjoyed that. And I finally want to say, this is for the girls that are tired of reading fantasy that have a whole bunch of romance in it. Are there some hints of romance in here? Yes, because Freya has literally 4 lovers and Jack and Brandy are together. There are mentions of relationships in here, but it's not developed in the book. So if you're somebody that is tired of reading fantasy books that are heavy in the romance plot, and you just want to read the fantasy and the world and the history, the lineage, whatever, this is the book for you. I highly recommend it. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Not too much negative or not too much bad things to say about this book, but you know, I'm gonna have something to say. But overall, I'm really glad I loved it, because I did not want to get rid of this book. Like, with this cover, it has to stay on my shelf. Like, I have so many sentimental memories with this book, so I'm just not trying to let her go. But first book now for this vlog, unfortunately, it is not a 5-star, which means we're going to be moving on to our next book. So the other 2 books that I had to pick from is Amari and the Night Brothers and Half a Soul. I know y'all want me to read Amari and the Night Brothers, but let me see which one's shorter, child. 405. Well, we know who the winner is. Okay, so we're gonna read Half a Soul first. I honestly think Amari and the Night Brothers is gonna be a 5-star. I don't know if I had this on audiobook. We're gonna read Half a Soul first. So I'm excited to read this. We shall see if this will be our 5-star position. If not, we're gonna have to keep rolling down the list, child. So I will see you guys in the next clip. Bye. Okay, so I just closed another vlog, but I guess I should come on here. I finished The Marvelers. You guys, it's a 5-star. I'm so sorry. Was it on the TBR? No, but it's a surprise book, and I like, the video is supposed to end when I find a 5-star, and it just so happens that this ends up being a 5-star. I'm honestly very surprised how underrated this book is. I just love the way she writes. Like, this is the second book that I've read by Donnell Clay, and I've also read a lot of short stories by her, but she really has this niche of just creating this magical, beautiful, just Disney-ish world. Like, she has a really strong, like, fantasy magical mind, because even in another book that I read by her, which is called The Bells, she had these little creatures and the world and just the plot, everything about that book I still think about. Like, she wrote that so well, and she does such a good job with just a magical setting. So I really just want to give her flowers. Like, and I'm really excited to see what else she comes up with. I just feel like this book was so well done. The pacing was perfect. The characters were fun. I love that she named these characters after authors. Like, I love that. Like, I didn't even realize it because they weren't saying their last names until they got to detention and they started saying their last names, and I realized, like, these are all authors. Like, she named these characters after authors. It just, she pays her homage. She's just very skilled, and I'm just excited to see what else she comes out with. I just thought this book was fun. It was a middle grade, but it didn't feel young. It just was fun to follow along. I need people to be released from the shackles of comparing every magical book to Harry Potter. Like, I know, like, if you recommend this book, you'll say, oh, if you like Harry Potter, you'll love this book, which is fine. But to hold this book up to Harry Potter and be like, oh, you want to be Harry Potter so bad, it's like, girl, like, there are so many other books with magical school systems aside from Harry Potter, okay? And J.K. Rowling has already on her entire legend. She done that all on herself, okay? So can we just let authors create these magical worlds and these magical schools without directly attaching it to Harry Potter? Like, this book was so well done. It was so heavily culturally influenced, and I just think that if you have taste, you will like this book. Like, was so just astonished by the way that she crafted all of these characters' cultures into this book, and it just was so much fun. Even the little little creatures that she put in these books were just, it just made my heart feel so warm. It just was like the little pixies and all the little animals, and she be in her bag, okay? She be in her bag when it comes to like the magical characters, magical settings, magical creatures. I just need people to give her flowers. I think that the plot was very interesting. The structure of this magical world was very interesting. There was a lot of conflict in this book. And the second book comes out in September, and I will be picking it up. I have already ordered this book because I need it physically on my shelves. I absolutely loved it. Love the cover. Love everything about it. And I hope more people read it. And I'm excited to see what else she comes out with. But we're gonna have to close this video out because that's our 5-star. That is our 5-star. Was it on my TBR? No, but it is what it be. You know what I'm saying? It is what it be. So I guess we'll see Half a Soul and Amari and the Night Brothers in the next video of this series. I'm not mad at it, okay? First video, it only took 1 book. Second video, it took 2. So I'm not mad at it. I have 2 books that I really enjoyed. I love them, okay? It was a good time. So yeah, let me know if you guys have read this book or if it's on your TBR. If you made it to the end of this video, please leave this emoji right here. Thank you so much for watching. Always remember, read a book, keep your life interesting, and I will see you next time, okay? Bye.